Hello guys, it's 9 o'clock at night. I just took my makeup off, put moisturizer on, did all that jazz. As I'm sitting here getting all my shit together, because my 4 classes started today. My other one started January 2nd. That one lasts all semester. The other 4 don't last all semester because I go to a mortuary school that has an online program, because it's a long story about why I left my community college here that has a funeral service program. A very long story. But I was going to talk about what it's like actually going into funeral service and the struggles of it. So I've been now pursuing a funeral director degree, a degree in the boards. So I've been pursuing this career field for about 2.5 years now. I left, maybe it's even 3 years. I left the university I was at, where I was studying prenatal biology, because I did it for like 8 years of school, is what I wanted to do right now. I do have a hope that one day I'll be a doctor or a dentist, something like that. And so after my first semester of doing funeral service stuff, I only took like 1 class that was actually like in the funeral service thing, an actual funeral service class. I only took 1 first semester because I had gen ed I had to take, because a lot of my classes from the university did not transfer to the community college, because it's usually the other way around. So I was doing gen ed. I did very well, and I took like religion classes and stuff, because that was required at the school I was at, to take religion classes if you're going into funeral service. You could pick the religion class. I picked Old Testament. Okay, so basically after about a semester of doing funeral service in school, I was like, well, you have to have an internship, and that's all I do, was that you had to have an internship. So at that point I had green hair, all green. And I went to a local funeral home, and I was like, are you guys looking for interns? And the man talked to me and like asked a bunch of questions, looked over my resume, which at that point barely had anything on it, and he was like, okay, well, I really want you to talk to this other female I have working for me, because it's way different for girls in the funeral business. And I'm like, okay. So I talked to this woman. She was like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? And I'm sitting here like, it sounds like you don't want to do this. I'll take your job. Yeah, I want to do it. And then I met with the man who owned the funeral home again, and he told me that he did not want to hire another female. I really, really wish I got that on recording. And after he said that to me, I kind of lost hope for getting an internship. So like another semester went by, so a couple more months, and I just didn't try at all. And then I ended up getting an internship at a funeral home that is a black funeral home. If you know anything about funeral homes, they're usually black funeral homes or they're white funeral homes. There's really no intermingling in most situations. So I was the only white person at this funeral home, and I didn't really know that much about interning. So I expected this guy, funeral director, to be a mentor, to tell me what I needed to know. But also, yeah, when I had great hair, when that guy was acting like he was gonna hire me and then told me he didn't want another girl, I dyed my hair back to normal colors. So that's something y'all should know. But yeah, so I was like working at this funeral home. Actually, the day he hired me, he had me actually stay there for a couple hours and do some stuff because I had nothing else better to do. So I was going in there like once a week, and just answering phones. She was like, I'm just gonna have you do clergy duty for the first couple of months while you're here. And I'm like, okay, that sounds okay. So I did that, and then I got to a point where he stopped calling me in. I'd call every week, be like, no, we don't need you this week, call me next week. And that went on for about a month and a half of me calling and calling. So I ended up getting, I was working at a normal job this whole entire time. So the place I was at, at the normal store I was at, they were closing their location. So I had already started working for another company. That screwed me over too. But, so I was like, I'm gonna try and find another funeral home to work at because he's not letting me come in there and get hours. So I ended up finding another one. It was another black funeral home. And this was in a bad part of town. Bad. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a stripper outside like 3 times I was there. Like, bad. Don't know if you guys know anything about Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk isn't always the best place to be. And it was bad, Norfolk. Like, bad. So this guy who the guy who owned this funeral home had actually passed away, like 8 months before I got hired there. So his wife decided that she wanted to reopen the funeral home, and they literally had been open for a month again since before I started working there. So the funeral director that was working there now was like telling me stuff about how you need to be registered with the board and all that kind of stuff. He said I need to be registered with the board for Virginia. And I had never heard that from the other funeral director that I was under for like 6 or 7 months. I'd never heard that at all. And his nephew was interning under him, so he knows how it's supposed to go. He just decided not to tell me. And he also only paid me $5 an hour, and it took me 2 months after I left to get that money from him. So I still probably should have reported him to the board, because that's illegal. So this new funeral director at this new funeral home was telling me that I have to be registered with the board. And I was like, okay, well, let me go look into that, because I had never heard that before. And I told him, I was like, yeah, he never told me that. And I was relying on him to tell me what I needed to do. I was looking up to him as a mentor. And by this point, when I was working for these people, I was already in this online school. And the school is based out in New York City. So they wouldn't be able to help me with any of the laws for Virginia. So he told me, he was like, yeah, I got to be registered with the board. So I went on the internet and found the interning requirements. The funeral director has to be practicing for 2 years consecutively, at least. Also, you have to have 20 hours a week for it to count towards your hours. And I was there once a week at the other funeral home, so wouldn't even count if I was registered. This guy screwed me over completely. So the new guy who told me about this was really nice. Really kind of an older guy, but he had been practicing for 2 years consecutively. He actually had his business shut down, and then he went to go do other stuff, and then he came back to funeral directing. So I couldn't study under him. And they also hadn't been open enough. There's a certain amount of bodies you have to have a year to be able to have an intern. And I think you have to have a certain amount of bodies for 2 or 3 years before you can get an intern to work for you. So I've had a lot of interviews. I left the funeral home. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and work for you guys. First of all, they weren't paying me at all. They just had me come there, sit there for hours. The funeral director, the dude, would just sleep on the floor. It was weird. And after that, I was like, I could dye my hair back to green. And then I did the purple that looks blue in this camera, and this looks blue too. So I have been searching. What are you doing, Tai-Tai? I have been searching for so long to get a funeral home to take me in as an actual intern, because I only have about a year left of school. What is he doing? And hey, Pee-Pee, do a step on that. And I haven't been able to find one. I actually searched for funeral. I actually started looking for funeral homes about an hour away from me. And I actually had an interview with him, and he called me and was like, we're hiring someone else. And I've literally almost every single funeral home in this area has my resume, or I've called and left numbers with them multiple times. So it's, I don't know if it's easier in other areas of the country or other countries, but here where I'm at, it's hard. And now I have a wig that I wear when I go to interviews at funeral homes. So, or even just go turn resumes in. Most funeral homes in this area aren't looking for interns. And the thing is, the bigger funeral homes that do interns don't keep you once you're done. They kind of just send you on your way, and you're like, either open your own or find somebody who'll take you. So it's a rough reality. And it's what I want to do. And the fact that I can't find an internship with only a year left of school, when it takes a year and a half to do your internship here, is 3,000 hours in Virginia, makes me very upset. I do have family in New Jersey that have a funeral home in New Jersey, where I'm from, like, I'm from New Jersey, but they're not in that same city. So it's actually not blood related. It's my uncle's family. My uncle's not blood related, but that's a guaranteed job up there. But I don't think I could ever justify going back up there. Unless I was just gonna go alone and, like, start a new life and have no friends. Even though I really don't have friends at all anyway. My boyfriend wouldn't want to go up there. He hates the North. And he's dating a Yankee. Okay, well, that is the kind of my reality and also the honest truth about interning in funeral homes and being a girl. They look down on you a lot. They do. They expect you not to do as well because you're a girl, and they're like, oh, you're more emotional, you won't be able to handle it, you can't lift the bodies. I'm sitting here like, get two girls to work together, they'll do it quicker than any man can. Just saying, that's usually how it goes. So, yeah, that's that.